What's up? What's up? I said, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome back to Two for the Money. Look who it is. We got our man here, Wise Guy Frankie. Welcome back to the show,
Welcome
buddy.
back, baby. I'm so happy to be here.
Good to have you back, brother. Good to have you back. Everybody's back in the studio this week, which means we got some good picks for you. Let's go over the repack from last week. Last week, it was an okay week. It wasn't too bad. College football, I went 2-3. And then in the NFL, I was literally 2 seconds away from a 3-0 record. But the Rams, everybody who had the Rams, anyone who saw that game, you saw what happened. Rams +3 looks like money. They got the ball. Even if he misses the field goal, you cover. The only way you lose on that game is what exactly happened, and that's a blocked field goal.
Special teams.
Anyway, yeah,
Special teams.
we move on. That brings so with that total, that brings my college football record to 9-7-1.
Rams.
The NFL record at 5-5 for a total record this season at 14-12-1. What about you, young Frankie?
You know what? Hasn't been a great season for me so far. You know,
never too late to turn it around.
Never too late to turn it around. Still early. It's where we get the feel of these teams and what they're really about, and you know. That's the challenge in the beginning of the season. But, you know, we do our best here, and I think it's only going to get better, like you said. So, with me, 2-2 last week for college football, 1-2 in NFL, so total 3-4 for the week. And I believe I'm 11-13 overall for the season. But this is where, again, we can get over 500, and that's what I plan to do.
Like we said, never too late to turn around. So, with that being said, we're going to start off right here. We got right with you, college football.
Here we go. Punch it up.
That's right. Friday night lights in the ACC. I wish this was a home game for Florida State. We hear the yeah, a whole lot of that this week is what I'm hoping to hear. Because I got Florida State Friday night, ACC opener for them. They're on the road at Virginia. And this line is kind of small. You know, I may have Florida State rated higher than a lot of other, you know, medias and cappers and things like that. Because -7 just seems way too short for a team that, you know, dominated the Alabama game and has put up back-to-back 60-pointers against, you know, lesser competition, nonetheless to say. But, you know, Florida State, they look like they are a team on a mission this year. Florida State from last year, I think, was a 2-win team.
Terrible.
Very, very, very terrible. But they have a lot of new pieces in. Quarterback Tommy Castellanos. He's played in this game at Virginia last year when he was at Boston College, and he actually lost. They lost after leading that game 14-0, they ended up losing the game 24-14. So this is a kind of a revenge game for him. They had 3 fourth-quarter turnovers to blow that game. So him with a new team and with that new offensive coordinator, Gus Malzahn, you know what he likes to do. He likes to turn shit up. So I'm looking for a big game for Florida State here. I'm not afraid to lay it. They do have Miami on deck. So, but I just think, you know, right now, no one can afford to look ahead and look past any of these teams. This is a conference opener for them. They need to have a solid statement win to keep rising up the power rankings. So I'm going to take Florida State here. Florida State -6.5.
All right, here we go with my first pick of the college weekend slate. And I'm taking it all the way to Illinois, where San Diego State Aztecs are opened up at -2 against Northern Illinois. What I have here is San Diego State allowing only 12 points per game all season. They pitched 2 shutouts. They beat Cal 34-0 last week. Opened up with a 42-0 win against Stony Brook. Right here I see that NIU really, really struggles on offense. One of probably the worst offenses this year. Stinky. They only average 12 points per game, but they allow 25. San Diego State, I believe here, talent-wise, obviously, is overpowering NIU. And I just think right here is just a give-me pick. San Diego State has showed more of what they can do, especially beating Cal 34-0 last week. And in this 2-game losing streak that NIU has had, they've allowed 29 points per game. And their QB or offense in total hasn't done really anything in there. Again, they really stink. So I think this one's a gimme. Line open up at -2.5 for San Diego State. It's still at 2.5, 2. I don't know wherever you guys can find it at that line, but I don't know why it hasn't moved in more of a San Diego State's favor. But I'm gonna take this one as an easy one for me, and I'm gonna go for the official pick: San Diego State Aztecs -2 against NIU.
All right. Next game up, 12:30 spot here. And we're going to take a look at the the Fighting Kurt Segnetis, undefeated Indiana University versus the Iowa Hawkeyes here. Two undefeated teams going into Big Ten play. Both these teams actually are 3-0 against the spread. I think Iowa has a push in there somewhere. But anyway, I am super, super, super impressed of what the University of Indiana has done, especially last year and continuing that success this year. I was a little hesitant on them. I was on Illinois last week, and boy, did they make me look bad. Made me look bad. I also bet against Iowa last week. Two teams I bet against, and now they faced each other. I lost both those bets. Those are my only two bets I lost for against both these teams. But you know what? Somebody's got to win this game. And I'm going to ride Indiana here. It's going to be me because I'm riding Indiana on this game. Their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, he has 16 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. I like that. You know, this guy played in a lot of big games last year at Cal, and he's continuing that success here in this offense. This game is really going to come down as if Iowa can put up the points. You know, their defense, I don't think is going to slow anybody down. They gave up 300 passing yards last week to Rutgers, and this is a high-powered Indiana offense. You know, if you've been watching them last year,
they can score.
If you've seen them this year, they know how to put up the points. So I'm going to lay here. I'm going to buy me a point. There's no reason to lay 7.5 unless you really feel like they're going to blow them out, which may rarely happen here. I'm going to take Indiana -7.
All right, for my second pick of the college slate this weekend, we're going to take it over here to Connecticut versus Buffalo. All right, here I see the line opening up at -4. Well, actually, Buffalo was the favorite here at -1.5, but the line has moved tremendously in favor of UConn. Now it's -4. But as you know, I love to buy points, so what I'm looking at is the -3. Right here, UConn, this season, I've been actually following a little bit more than a lot of these college teams, and these guys, they've been playing good football this season, and I think I've probably am 1-1 in against the spread with these guys, but they average 38 points per game. They allow 27, so their defense needs to step up a little bit, but they've been playing some good teams. Their quarterback, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. They throw the ball pretty well. Cam Edwards is actually a good running back for them right now, 500 yards, 5 TDs. UConn's just more of a talented team. Buffalo, don't really know much about them, but again, I've been following UConn a little bit more, and they've been playing more talented teams, and I think they can get, which is necessary, and they need a win this week. So they're going to come and get it against Buffalo, and they average 25 points. Buffalo averages 25 points per game, allows 20 points per game. But again, the talent over there is overridden by UConn's, and I think this is going to be another gimme pick for me. So I'm taking UConn by the point, -3 for my official pick as my second.
Now we're going to take it out west, they would say, over here in Texas. Well, technically this game's in Oklahoma. Stillwater, Oklahoma. Yeah, I'm going to got Baylor on the road, laying some cheese at Oklahoma State. And if you heard the news today, we're filming today on Tuesday. And it's been an end of an era at Oklahoma State. They just fired their coach,
Mike Gundy.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
21 years at the helm, and he is gone.
And he is
great coach, but it's time. You know, we got to move on sometimes.
A lot of years there. It's a lot of turnover.
Terrible team.
They've been having a horrible season. Last week they lost to Tulsa.
They could not find the end zone.
Baylor's been looking for an easy game for a while. It's like every week Baylor plays, they've been playing a hard team. They've only had one easy win. It was against Stanford this year. Samford, not Stanford, Samford. So I'm going to lay the cheese here. Hopefully for my bet, they aren't overlooking this team. And, you know, Oklahoma State's got a true freshman quarterback. I think this is an Indiana spot, a Smack City spot. But I'm only going to give you that 2-for-1 special. So give me the first quarter -6.5 and the first half -10.5.
Smack City. All right, wise guy Brian. I'm going to hop on the train. I think I'm going to head here too, down to Baylor, and take the first half minus 10.5 as well. What I see here is the same thing my wise guy partner sees here. OK State is terrible. I don't see nothing from them. I was betting live all game last week, and these guys could not find the end zone, and I was livid. With my baby, my son in my arm, okay, we're watching the game. So I had a teaching. It was a good teaching point about football. Showing we got to make a tackle.
Yep.
We got to get 2 yards when we need 1 on third down. But, okay, granted, they have a true freshman quarterback, Zane Flores, but he has 0 TDs on the season, okay? Whew. To this point, 0 TDs on the season. But he's a little bit mobile, you know what I mean? But he's not going to be able to get it done this quick, okay? Against Baylor, who has a lot of positives. Coach Aranda is a great coach, okay? And they've played a couple of good teams out there, and they're on the rise. So, you've seen the way they played Auburn. And I don't see anything here that's going to change my mind. And another kind of gimme pick right here is why? Why not? Why can't they cover this 10.5 in the first half against this team? Right? Sure. Coach is out. Gundy's out. Whole new, or I don't know, game plan, whatever they got to do, get ready in a week. It's not going to happen. If it does, we got again. Yes, so sir. Official pick on the wise guy Brian's train, first half Baylor minus 10.5.
All right, for my last pick this week, you guys have been following along all season, and you see how I be doing. Look, I don't even look for these games; they just jump out up at me. Mm-hmm. And the only reason why I could bet this game is because I bet this exact game last year. The Missouri Tigers. I don't know how they got in contract with UMass and how this becomes a regular season, middle of the season game. Last season they went to UMass and they were laying 43 points. Compared UMass's stadium to Missouri Stadium, half the fans were in attendance. They're not even a quarter of the fans were attending that. And they got the cover in that game. It was very lucky. They had to wake up very early for that game. Mm-hmm. Now they're at home. This game's going to be playing under the lights. And Missouri, they're one of the hottest teams in the SEC, and they got Alabama on deck. So I think they're going to get this game out of the way quick and early. UMass has not won a game this year. Just give me the Missouri Tigers. First quarter, minus 10.5. Get it done. No sweat. Lay that cheese. And I'll see you next week. Go Mizzou.
All right. And taking it here to South Carolina, where it is a very harsh environment to play in. Okay, I've seen this firsthand last year against LSU. It was really what put Lenore Sellis on the radar, correct? Mm-hmm. Correct. I brought that to your attention. And from there to this point, well, actually, to the beginning of the season, I can give them the first 2 games because they did play a very good, cover the first game, didn't cover the second game. But Lenore Sellers and company, Coach Beamer, it was, a lot of media talk about this team coming into the season, Heisman candidate, a lot of stuff regarding their offense and quarterback especially. These last 2 games, 2-game losing streak have been nothing but atrocious from these guys, and I hate to keep going back and forth with Sellers and giving him praise, but he has to show me something this weekend. And overall, I think as a team, they're gonna do that this week. Another team I've been following all year, so it's one of those games. Again, I could say another gimme pick. So all 4 of these picks should be wins for these teams. So South Carolina at home, where it is very hard to play, should be no reason that they should cover this line, which opened up at 6.5 against Kentucky. Is still 6.5. But again, I think it's just the scared public money maybe not coming in. That could because of what they've seen from South Carolina. But this for me here is a get-right game for Lenore Sellers and company. And I think they're going to do well beyond that. I think they can even win by 2 touchdowns here. So I'm going to go ahead. You know what? I was going to buy a point here, but I'm going to leave it as is. So official pick, South Carolina minus 6.5 against Kentucky.
Let's go, baby. Out of respect for the NFL, I'm going to remove my cap. And you guys probably been wondering, what is he wearing? This is the official ESPN College Game Day hardware, baby. Shout out to our other guy. Shout out to Ryan for that. He was at the Week 1 game for Ohio State, Texas. Got us a little present for the show. Anyway, we're moving on to the NFL this week. And we're coming at you Thursday night. That's right, Thursday night football. I got a primetime game. And You got Seattle on the road playing the Arizona Cardinals. And if anybody has been watching football, you've seen what's been going on in the NFL. Seattle looks like the best team in the NFC West. And Arizona Cardinals continue to find a way to lose games. Playing mediocre performances. You got wide receivers dropping touchdowns, dropping wide open passes, and just blowing games when they need them. You need to make a play. They just don't seem to make them. Seattle continues not to beat themselves, and, you are what your record says you are. They're undefeated. Oh, no, they're not undefeated, actually. They lost to the Niners week 1. Them, too. They were going down to win that game. But this is a big division game. I got to ride with the hot hand. I'm going to go with Seattle minus 1.5. They're on the road, but I trust their offense a little bit more, as well as their defense, than I do Arizona. So give me Seattle Seahawks, baby, minus 1.5.
All right, for the NFL slate this week, we're going to go ahead and get right into it with the glass of Guinness, right? All right, let's take it all the way to Dublin, Ireland. Shout out Conor McGregor and all my Irish folks out there. Let's go ahead and watch some football, huh? So we got the Pittsburgh Steelers against your Minnesota Vikings. Right here, what I was eyeing, we're going to take it to the over and under side here. The total of the game opened up at 42.5, down to 41.5, but again, I'm going to buy a point, get it back to 42.5 because I like that number. Anything you can get more than the original number, I think it's kind of in your favor. McCarthy injured, Wentz still at quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, he's still Aaron Rodgers, I get it, but he's still an old quarterback, doing Wayaska and all that. So, I think it's an up and down thing, so I see this week not being too much of one of those spectacular moments from him. He's just going to be an old man playing quarterback. So I don't think Minnesota is going to be much better. They'll score some points. I think they have a little bit more on the get going side offense. Yeah. They got a little more going. Defense is a little more put together. So I'm riding with the under here at 42.5 for my official pick.
Well, let their under be in because this is going to be a defensive game. I'm too betting on this game. I won't be taking the side. I like the under in this one, but I also feel like the Minnesota Vikings, they just look like the better team here. I got to go with the eye test. Aaron Rodgers, you're going to the Hall of Fame. We know that you are, but that Pittsburgh offense and that Pittsburgh defense, the Steelers just look like a shell of themselves. And I do believe this is their first time going overseas, so I'm interested to see how Mike Tomlin gets that group together. The Vikings, their bias will be playing the home game. It's going to be a pro-Vikings crowd. They've been there every year since the NFL has started going overseas. Yes, they are playing with their backup quarterback, Carson Wentz. He's going to have to do a little bit more than what he did last week because the defense showed up last week and got them that easy, Doug. But I think, just their game plan and just the way the Vikings are, just plug and play. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. You plug them in, you're going to get good results. So I'm going to take the Vikings here on the money line. So you got to pay a little bit more. But give me the Vikings money line out there in Dublin.
Right. For my second pick in the NFL slate, we're going to go ahead and take it to Houston, Texas. That's right. The Texans -6. We're going to say opening line at 5.5, but now 7. I'm going to go ahead and take that down to a -6 versus the Tennessee Titans, who only average 17 points per game, which is 28th in the league. They allow about 32 points per game, which is 30th in the league. Their offense is just not doing so well this year. The eye test again, Cam Ward, rookie quarterback, Tony Pollard not doing so well. There's just not a lot of things to look forward to over there. So Texans, get right game. They need to win this game. They're at home. From what they did last year, for the first few years under DeMeco Ryan and company, they just got to get it going. They have all the tools needed. Maybe not running back too much, but they have enough to get it going. That's what I think. So, you know what? C.J. Stroud has a pretty decent record against these guys. They lost last year, 32-27. I think they're going to come back here and get that W. I don't know if it's a revenge game or anything, but call it that. So I'm taking here the official pick, -6, Houston Texans.
Feels like I'm carrying that same betting trend that I did in college football where I just bet the team that burnt me last week.
Winning, don't fix it, my brother.
I got to, I'm taking Philly here in this next game. Philly, they're on the road.
Fly, Eagles fly.
Now, I felt that Philly, you don't really want to back a team who gets a lucky win like they did. But the way that they did it, I mean, being down big and coming all the way back and winning in that dramatic fashion, I think that's just fuel to the fire for this Philadelphia team. I mean, they don't make it look sexy at all. They just win, baby. And that's all we kind of need them to do. Tampa, I think, is teetering towards a loss. You know, ever since week 1, the Falcons had a chance to beat them. They missed their field goal. Week 2, Monday night, they have to put up a 4th and 10 on the last drive of the game to get them all the way down there and win on the goal line in Houston. And then this week, blocked field goal. They're down. They get the ball back with like less than 2 minutes, and they go down and score. I just think Tampa's teetering towards a loss. Yeah. Philly also could be teetering towards that loss, but I just don't see how Tampa Bay is going to do it. Baker Mayfield, yes, he's great regular season, but when you put the dogs on him, can Baker really get it done? Can you really trust Baker? I guess we'll find out here. I guess we'll find out here, really. But it's a lot of injuries on that Tampa Bay side, especially in the wide receiver room. Mike Evans is going to miss this game. Yep. So I'm going to relay the points with Philly here. I think it's 3.5. I'm just going to buy half a point. Give me the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. -3.
All right, here we go for the final pick of the NFL slate for Week 3. I'm going over here to San Francisco, California, where I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars. Line opened up at -5.5, down to -3 Frisco. So I love where the money's going, but I'm going to go ahead and buy a point again just to be a little safe, and I'm going to get Jacksonville a +4. Jags averaged 24 points per game this year, 49ers 18 points per game. I've been on a little bit of Mac Jones hype. You know, give me this hype over here. I like this. Let me put this on. Over here. I like this.
Mac Jones, baby.
All right, go out Lake Show, baby. Lake Show. Get your Luka MVP tickets in. All right, so what I see here, 49ers, they got a decent offense when McCaffrey touches the ball, right? Kittle's out, starting quarterback's out. You know, I did a little bit on the 49ers for the past few years, and it worked out a little bit. It hasn't worked out. The days it didn't work out, Brock Purdy was obviously on his brilliant run, but I think it's catching up to him. And, you know, I think Jacksonville has a little more to prove here, going in as dogs to limpy 49ers offense. You keep giving McCaffrey the ball, he's going to get hurt. He's going to keep getting hurt. So with all those issues there with his legs and stuff, I think if you feed him the ball too many times this game, it's going to cause some problems. And Jacksonville only allows 82 yards rushing per game this year, which is 5th in the league. So go ahead and give McCaffrey the ball. I don't think it's going to work. So I think Jacksonville, which needs some Brian, the receiver.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas Jr. needs to get going. Etienne needs to get going. And even Trevor Lawrence, man, get your name back on the map. Okay, you came out of college as this big-time QB, just like Caleb Williams. A lot of mediocre QB play out there, and these guys just need to step it up, point blank. Okay, they're professionals, getting paid millions of dollars. Okay, I'm not saying any of this matters, but we like to see a good show on Sundays, and there's just been a lot of disappointing not scoring points. So let Trevor Lawrence do it for you this week, guys. So official pick, Jacksonville +4.
For my next game up, 1 o'clock spot here. We're going out to Sin City, baby. The Raiders and the Bears. Hard not to like the Bears after what they did last week. Caleb Williams, boy, you got that trap booming. Now, Ben Johnson, one game doesn't make a season, but that was very impressive what that offense did last week. I think the vibes are high. It's going to be actually a lot of Bears fans in Vegas for this game this weekend. Caleb Williams coming out west. It's kind of hard to really like what the Raiders have been putting out there. Pete Carroll, I love you. But the team, they just don't have the capacity, man. They just don't have it. Right now, nothing's really looking good. The offensive line isn't really working. Ashton Genty isn't really working. And Geno Smith just isn't working. So I'm going to ride the high hand. It's a pick 'em. -1.5. Give me the Bears. -1.5, baby. And for the final pick this week, you know we had to do it. It's a Monday night sissy fight. You got 2 0-3 teams there. 2 0-3 teams right here. Terrible. Somebody's got to win this game. I am banking on that the Jets are going to send out Tyrod Taylor again. This might be the last game you see Mike McDermott. If the Dolphins don't win this game, guarantee you he might be the first coach out of his coaching position. They might not do it right now, but later in the year, it might be done. You will lose this locker room if you lose to the Jets right here. The Dolphins, they have all the talent in the world on the offensive side. I know that defense isn't good. But the Jets aren't really, scoring a lot of points on offense. They scored last week on special teams and whatnot. So Dolphins in Miami at home, primetime slot. No Tyreek Hill wants to show up for the lights. All those guys over there, they earn paychecks too. So Tua, it's on you, baby. Give me the Dolphins minus 2.5. And that's going to do it this week. We don't just do it for you, we do it for us too. But we do it for you, guys. Hit the follow button. Follow our Instagrams. We have that Combined Betting Cage, that CAC Betting. We have our own social medias. You guys can follow those as well. You'll see all of our posts, all of our picks every Saturday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And sometimes Monday.
Sometimes Monday, just like this week. But as it always is, we have these cold streaks and these hot streaks. But, at the end of the day, we're working just for you guys and for us as well, obviously. But we're trying to get all these picks as right as possible. And we're doing our hard work to get these picks right because we love it as well, like we always say. So I think this is going to be a very good week for both of us.
Yes, sir.
And good luck to everybody out there. Thank you for following. And follow the CAC Betting, like we said, for any additional picks or side, things that we have, any updates that we may have as well. So let's get it.